Hi, I'm Shawn Noonan.
And I'm Helena Noonan.
And we're with the Noonan team at Compass.
I'm here in Laguna Beach, one of my favorite places. So much to see.
Today we're going to take you behind the scenes and explain to you a little bit about the rich history in this town.
Welcome to the American Dream TV. This is a real show, not a reality show, based on lifestyle, culture, and real estate, where we go to your city across the country. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs, and we have a fantastic episode lined up for you, and we're going to get it started right now.
The search is over, baby. I'm right here, and I got it.
The American Dream, the only show that combats negative media, not owned by a network, commercial-free, unscripted.
I got it.
These are stories for you and by you.
Hi, I'm Shawn Noonan.
And I'm Helena Noonan.
And we're with the Noonan team at Compass.
I'm here in Laguna Beach, one of my favorite places. The beach, the restaurants, shops, galleries, so much to see.
Yes, but there's a rich history to this town that most people don't know about. This actually started out as an artist commune over 100 years ago and has grown into the town that most people recognize today. Today we're going to take you behind the scenes and explain to you a little bit about the rich history in this town. So let's get this episode started.
So Dominique, tell us a little bit about this incredible location here. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm sitting behind, I think is my favorite spot, but let's talk about the whole thing.
Well, this is a lot of people's favorite
Yes,
spot.
yes.
So we moved to this location. Laguna College of Art and Design was just a small school in 1961 when we were established, but we moved here in 1973 when we purchased what are still the same buildings that we've used. We've slowly expanded over that time to include this park area that you see here, which is Nina's Park with the beautiful 250-year-old sycamore tree. And we've expanded to parts of the canyon where we have location up at what we call Big Bend. We have a gallery in town. We're throughout the canyon in place. It's just been a wonderful place for us. You can't help but be inspired by this gorgeous locale when you're painting and drawing. So it was an obvious place to start this.
That's great. And tell us a little bit, Dominic, how the college actually started.
Well, it started because of two key people, Nellie Gail Moulton and Athalie Clark, who's actually Joan Irvine Smith's mother. They came together as painters themselves, and they wanted to help put something together for training artists, and they did it through the Festival of the Arts. The festival spurned all of this great stuff that you see in the canyon. Athalie and Nellie Gail Moulton decided that they needed this training ground, and so they got together and they started up what was at the time the Laguna Beach Art Association, which then turned into the Laguna Beach School of the Arts. We've actually changed names several times, and now we're Laguna College of Art and Design.
So it sounds to me like you have primarily a fine arts background here at the college originally, but from what I understand, you've expanded into many, many other genres as well. Maybe explain a little bit about that.
Right. So you're going to find art in everything that you participate in life, and we've experienced that here as well. So we've grown to accommodate that, and we've evolved to include animation, game design. We've got graphic design and digital media, entertainment design for designing entertainment spaces like in hotels and in parks like you see here. So we've really evolved to accommodate the marketplace. Right. And because of that, 92% of the students that we've surveyed are actually in full-time jobs when they graduate from here. You don't hear that about art schools very often.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
That's fantastic. So I know you guys are very involved in the community today. We've been talking a little about your current students, but actually some of your alumni as well. So give us a sense of what you guys are doing in terms of outreach to the community to support the local artists that are here today.
Well, we have, as you heard me mention before, we have a number of our artists who actually participate in the festivals, not just the Festival of the Arts, but also Sawdust Festival and Art Affair. We will partner up our students with several of the galleries, and they get that experience, and then the gallery gets to show their work. You know, you get to catch an up-and-coming artist before their work is worth thousands of dollars, which is also very nice. One of the most valuable relationships we've had, Richard McDonald, world-class sculptor, has come, and he actually spoke here, and he worked with to help us really build out our sculpture. We don't have a major here, but it's a minor as you go through. And as you travel through campus, you see that, and you'll see some of his work. And we love Dawson Cole Fine Art as well.
Get me out this mess I'm in. Trying to do the best I can. Keep on stumbling.
What I think most people don't know about is the history of art in Laguna Beach and how Laguna Beach actually started as an artist colony. So perhaps you can explain to us a little bit about how this all got started.
I didn't know anything about it, so let's hear from you.
Well, it's funny because I had to learn too when I came. I knew about the artist colony background, but I didn't realize that, I mean, we're talking over 100 years ago that these artists started to show up in town. And it was largely because of the proximity to Hollywood. You got a lot of these great artists who just wanted somewhere to go and relax. And it started to expand from there. And you got people like Betty Davis and Charlie Chaplin who came down and really spurned the creation of the Laguna Playhouse. And then, as I found out, in 1938, Los Angeles hosted the Olympics. And Laguna Beach really wanted to draw people down to see this amazing colony, all this work. So they established the Festival of the Arts and Pageant of the Masters. Wow. And the Pageant of the Masters, if you haven't seen it, you have to.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
It's just, it's stunning, and every year it's amazing. So they brought people down to see these living pieces of art, and then they got them out into the town, and it started to expand from there.
It's interesting, I know they were trying to attract people to Laguna Beach. We have clients who actually have a lot of family history in the area in terms of real estate, and I know in the early days they were basically giving away the real estate down here. You know, buy a set of encyclopedias and get a beachfront lot in Laguna Beach back in 1918, just to try to attract people down here. And clearly the city has grown up. It's still a small city, but it's really developed around that original personality of the artistic community.
Wasn't it great to learn about the history of Laguna Beach? That college is really doing a great job supporting the community, the local artists.
Yeah, they sure are. And speaking of local artists, we're about to sit down with Dave Hobrecht, who's a fine artist here in the village, and he's found a way to combine his love of art and his passion for sports.
Dave, I'm gonna go straight to the point.
Okay.
I walk in and I'm looking at this like, how do we know this is not a picture?
That's funny. I've had that actually before, and what I do is I do some live paint, some videos from start to finish. But it's just realism. You know, if you get up close to them, you can see the brushstrokes.
I'm always curious, how did you decide you wanted to become an artist? Usually artists, I find, start out doing one thing necessarily and then get to the point where they can turn that passion into a profession.
Yeah, I always was into art. I just didn't know I was going to do it as a job. So, you know, as a kid, a little bit energetic, a little bit too much for my mom, so she'd always get me, you know, art supplies and that kind of stuff, and it would calm me down a bit, you know, do that. But I went into business school because I just didn't have that thought of being an artist full time. So I went to business school, which actually was a blessing, getting that information and you know, kind of background to help me with my art. But what happened was, I was in another field, I was in automotive, and art just kept pulling me back. And so I started at Surfer Magazine. I started doing actually the opposite of this. It was colors and cartoons at Surfer Magazine. But then between every issue, I would do a black and white. And then that kind of was something I really loved. So I kind of came and pushed it forward.
This is a very unique medium.
Yeah.
How did you get started in this type of medium?
I was a big pencil guy before growing up. A lot of pencil work, but the pencil's a little silvery. So I started switching into some charcoals. Charcoals can get only dark gray, and I wanted to get some good contrast. I started adding pastels and other stuff, and it kind of just warped into this, application method. Yeah.
Interesting. Explain a little bit about your process. Like what process do you go through when you're coming up with concept, or how does the whole thing come together?
Well, it all depends on like clients. A lot of times you are told to do like a moment, which is a special moment in sports history. Once in a while, which is really nice, I get to make up a story or tell a story through the art. So it depends, So for the moments, we reference images and that kind of stuff. I try to change them up a little bit to make it my own. But on the storytelling side is really fun because there's research involved. You could go in there and do the comps and create something really cool that's never been seen. So that's kind of fun too.
As I look around your gallery, I see some Dodgers, I see some USC. Curiously absent, I think, are some UCLA pieces in here.
Yeah, absent for a reason. No, I'm just kidding. We do have Big Bill Walton, so we have done UCLA. And actually, I've done most teams, most sports. I'm lagging in a little bit, but for baseball, I've done every team. I just completed a Dodgers book, so there's a lot of Dodger stuff in there, but we just completed a book, so that's why it's here. But I've done everything, all sorts of players from old school to the new guys, Angels, Dodgers, Yanks, whatever.
Okay, I see there's some rock and roll back here on the wall too. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's like for me a little bit fun. I market my sports, but when I paint with music on. And I was burned out one day and I had just seen Pearl Jam. And so I'm like, I'm gonna paint Eddie Vedder. And I threw his music on, Pearl Jam, and I painted. It was so fun. So I started posting them, and I got a little traction and started getting some clients in the music world. So I love doing that. It's fun.
Now you've actually done some live shows, so explain to us how that works.
Yeah, that was weird. I threw some stuff on, and I got contacted by a concert promoter saying, do I want to paint live on stage? Wow. I said, sure, who? And then he sent me back some names, and I was like, come on, this guy's full of it, there's no way. And ends up, next thing you know, I'm on stage at the Microsoft Center in LA. It was Cypress Hill, Snoop, and Cube, and I'm painting the whole time for like 6 to 8 hours live painting with them. It was best seats I've ever had, and it was so fun.
So you're on stage during the concert while they're playing, and you're creating your piece.
They dressed me up a little bit, and I was supposed to be like a tagger. When they were performing, I would kind of wait. When they stopped in between songs, I'd paint, and then in between acts, I would paint a ton, and then I was on the big screen.
What an incredible experience.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wasn't it?
It was crazy. It was a little nerve-wracking. I don't get nervous, but that one I got a little rattled. Yeah, that was tough.
So Dave, Laguna Beach, such an artist community here. What do you love about this town?
I love everything about this town. When I was first looking into it, I wasn't living here at the time. I was looking into where would I put an art gallery.
Right.
If we're gonna go big, so we come to Laguna. Laguna's an art town. One, it's just got so much style. Like everything from the houses to the restaurants and the galleries. It's such a cool community. I moved here to do it, opened up my first gallery, and I haven't left. I love this town. It's such a great town. The community's great. We have an outstanding art school. We have all sorts of things from festivals to hiking and the beach and everything. I don't know why you could go anywhere else. I love this place.
And I guess Laguna loves you, huh?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
Easy breathing in your atmosphere. Oh, how
Ariane and Richard, we've known each other for so long. Our kids have grown up together. We're neighbors, we're friends. I would love to know how you guys started, how you met.
Yes. Yeah, we met at UCLA. We were both art history majors and had several of the same classes together. And wasn't difficult when I saw her, right? and ever since then we've been together. That was the early 90s.
Yeah. Now, did you know coming out of college that you wanted to get into the art world?
Yeah, well, growing up with an artist, my dad, Richard McDonald, is a well-known sculptor. Art was always a part of my life growing up. I remember when I was this big, smelling oil paint every time I smell it with new paintings coming in the gallery. Takes me back. It was just something I really loved. And so to be in the arts with my dad, with my wife and family, the gallery is named after my son, Dawson Cole. And it's just a great place to be.
When we got involved with the studio, Richard McDonald started opening galleries in various locations. So we helped with opening the Carmel Gallery, and then there was San Francisco and Pebble Beach, Santa Fe, New Mexico, then Beverly Hills, and of course our beautiful location in Laguna Beach.
That's right, yes. So why Laguna Beach? Why here?
Well, historically, Laguna Beach has been an artist colony for years. You've got the Pageant of the Masters, the Festival of the Arts, you've got the Laguna College of Art and Design, and this has been an artist hub since the 20s when the Impressionists were here working and going to Giverny in Paris. So naturally, birds of a feather flock together, right? It's just natural. When there's an energy or a synergy with galleries, it's just a great scene, and that's why we're here,
The axis forgot to twirl when we were on top of the world.
Your dad didn't start out as a sculptor though, right? I mean, he started out in a different medium and kind of migrated into sculpture.
Yeah, a lot of people ask that. For my dad, you know, every sculpture is a drawing. And my dad was an illustrator, and as an illustrator, you're doing a lot of drawings, drawing after drawing after drawing. So when it came time to sculpt, it was very natural for my dad. It just kind of came off of his fingertips. In fact, Rodin, the great sculptor, said you'll find your sculpture through your drawing. So when my dad started his sculpting career in 1988, it took off immediately, really.
Oh, really? Now, I understand for you guys, the 1996 Olympics was kind of a transitional moment for your career and for your dad's career. So explain to us kind of how that happened.
Yeah, so we finished college about that time, and my dad invited us to come up to work, and it was a great opportunity for us. It was straight out of college. Ariane worked in the PR department. I was working in the marketing department. My dad was building a 26-foot monument for the Olympics at the time. And it was a very exciting time. So we got to get our feet wet with a major project. So once he sculpted it, we actually took it to 10 different cities around the country, raising funds for nonprofits. It was great. People today see that as the most iconic sculpture of his career. One of the great relationships that my dad founded was in 2007. He worked with Guy Laliberté, the founder, creator of Cirque Du Soleil. And they've become great friends. He's since then become a great collector, an advisor, and they've built galleries together, and it's just been a great success. So everything my dad does is from life. So if you think about it, it's only live models. And with Cirque Du Soleil, it's an endless source of ideas and inspiration. And really for my dad, working with those models is really where the magic comes from. You know, he works with what he'll tell you is mud and sticks. But without that...
It's a little more involved in that.
Right. Like Picasso and the Muse, right? Everything that Picasso created, it was really about that relationship with that model. No different than my dad. You know, having that relationship with that male figure, that female figure, whatever it is in the studio, really is where that idea comes from and that energy comes from.
I see a lot of inspiration here from dance, and I also see beautiful, exquisite arts here from different artists.
Yeah, so as a representational gallery, we've got about 15 artists that we show, one of which is Hunt Slonim. You may know him for the butterflies and the whimsical bunnies, oil on canvas. Also Daniel Maltzman, a very contemporary street art artist from Los Angeles. We have also Picasso, one of my favorites from the modern era. We've got etchings and works on paper by him. New York artist Chuck Close does the large portrait work. So a full collection, not only here in the gallery, but also in the outdoor sculpture garden, which is unique to Laguna Beach.
Interesting. You guys represent a lot of different works of art from a lot of different artists around the world. And I know you guys are very entrenched here in the local community as well.
Yeah, we've been here since 1997. So
we're just celebrating our 25th anniversary this year, so we're really excited about that. And a very wonderful thing that we've done with the community is we've been able to work with a lot of the local charities over the last 25 years. Very close to our hearts is the Olive Crest organization, JDRF, the Boys and Girls Club of Laguna Beach, as well as the Pacific Symphony and the Festival Ballet Company. They will do the Nutcracker performance here. And I know that you've actually been to one of those events. So anyway, we just really love being able to really give back to the community in any way that we can.
I'd like to take you up, treat you right up until my dying day. Wanna treat you right for life.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to tell us your story and share these amazing works of art with us.
Sure, our pleasure. We really enjoyed it. Thanks for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
And now I'm in the mood to shop.
Uh-oh.
Right this way.
Oh, no. What a great way to wrap the day here in this one-of-a-kind sculpture garden at the Dawson Cole Gallery. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to attend some really great events here with Cirque Du Soleil, the LA Opera.
And don't forget Fashion Week.
Oh, how could I?
It was right here, the catwalk. I was sitting right there. We had such an amazing time.
Yeah, I tell you, we've really had the opportunity to learn a lot about the history of this unique town and the artists that really make this an amazing place to live.
Trying not to go crazy. Feels like I got all the answers I need, but ain't nothing gonna save me. We're in over our heads. We're not giving up yet.
We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of the American Dream TV, where we featured the best in lifestyle, culture, and real estate. Make sure and follow us on social media and engage with us in the conversation. We love to hear from you. I'm your host, Amy Scruggs, and we look forward to seeing you next time. But in the meantime, cheers to your American Dream.